Find my phone. All right, Doobie, I need you to throw up the horns. And hold them there. Is it going to work? Yes. Okay, good. Try to get a little, get a little flair for tonight.
Was it everything you hoped for?
I think so. It's my crazy, weird ass sense of humor.
I figured the crazy alone would do it.
Indubitably. At least that's what I tell my children.
Indubitably is what they know, what they're told.
Indeed. Why would they know otherwise?
Because they know it's good for them.
Exactly. Damn it.
Or do they?
They better.
I'm doubtful.
What was I doing? Oh, yeah.
You were doing everybody.
The social media thing.
That's interesting.
What is interesting?
The DPS of a game I'm playing.
DPS?
The deeps, my man. The deeps.
The diops? The doodleops? Well, I cannot spell, but that showed up. Okay, good. I love how I have to do this every single time because the damn multi-stream chat bot does not like it does not like me streaming on multiple platforms. So Facebook. 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom. Okay. And then I know this one's not broken, but there you go. Now I feel satisfied that we have everything where it needs to be for the show, which is going to happen in 6 minutes. And I'm just going to go ahead and inform everyone I don't know if we're going to cover all the topics, but if you want to add any topics, please drop them in the chat. We'll try to add it. But currently we're sitting at 11 different topics. So there's going to be a lot of talking by Zelius and not so much for Charlie.
I'm not sure that makes any sense.
It makes perfect sense, damn it. Don't you know?
Therein lies the problem, sir.
You, sir, are the new star of the show.
I thought it was always the star of the show. That's what my mom
Everyone tunes in just to hear Zelius.
Everyone has got a whole lot of issues if that's the case.
Touche, sir, touche.
Wait, you weren't supposed to agree.
I mean, no. What? As if.
Exactly. You worried me there. Yo.
I was trying to see if you're paying attention, that's all.
Why start now?
Ooh. That's a trick question. I've never started. Right? Is that the right answer? Damn it, Celia, it's so much pressure. Why do you keep doing this to me, Zelius?
Because that's what friends are for.
Fine, whatever, man. What the hell? Okay, this is... Hold on. Did it not update at all? Son of a bitch. The stream name's wrong. You dicks.
Did you name the screen Dicks? That'd be weird.
That would be funny, but no.
I'd approve.
No, it basically just erased the title and the description. Oh, as soon as I hit broadcast.
Well, that's just silly good, sir.
Indubitably, it is. But someone's got to do it.
Someone's got to erase the title?
No, someone's got to fix the issue so that
Oh,
people
well.
know. They have to know, Zelius. They have to know.
Well, then I suggest that you do your job, sir.
I'm doing it right now.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I don't know if I could do it on YouTube without dropping the... Oh, it worked. Okay, see if I can do it on Facebook without having to... Nope. Facebook is not going to work that way. All right, whatever. Facebook will continue to have the, let's play some more Legend of Runeterra. Because we can. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Dude, like, why?
Why?
James, I don't know why. I mean, that's... Let's just pretend that it works, okay? That's what most people in life do. I mean, that's what programmers do. Let's pretend that it's not broken there. It's only 3 pixels out of 2 million. I mean, who's going to hit that 1 pixel and have the avatar thrown across the screen into the light box and off the map, and then they can't die?
God, what are you rambling about?
So once upon a time, there were some games out there that were first-person shooters, and it turns out that if you hit specific pixels or vertices on there, if there's a chance that they were inverted. If they're inverted, your collision detection would go batshit nuts, and it actually drop you to a place that you can't die. So one of the pretty effects that a lot of
Hi, can I help you?
A lot of game developers do is they create a map, and then you see, like, you know, the sky, the sun, the clouds, all that stuff. It's actually a sky box. Okay, it's just a box that the world sits inside. So when you hit one of those negative vertices or reverse vertices, what would happen is you get thrown to the bottom of that box, which of course has no collision detection for death.
Where's the skybox? There's a skybox.
Concave. I'm just saying, James. It happens many times, and let me tell you.
Where is the skybox? I don't understand. Why is there a skybox in my game? Ah!
The only way to rectify the situation is you better pray that you have enough grenades to throw at your feet to blow you up.
Are you talking to James Simpson?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dr. Unity.
Mm-hmm.
Which, ironically, there is a topic that has to deal with Unity in some regard.
Hey, that's what I've been spending my last 2 months of life learning.
Unity. Howdy!
It's actually kind of fun.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's jump into it. Let's start the show, and then I guess we'll just start off with the Unity topic.
What is he chatting from?
Facebook.
Oh. Can he actually see my message when I send it from Twitch, though?
Yes. Yes, because the chat window is on the actual screen. So if it won't be in the Facebook chat, but it will be on the screen, so you can see it.
I got you. All
right,
cool.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Let's start the show. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Discialtica Fusion Thursday Night Hangout.
Yeah!
Ladies and gentlemen, I, of course, am your host, Charlie, and I'm joined once again by the prolific hummer himself, Zelios.
How goes it, good sir?
It goes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, this, of course, is the Thursday Night Hangout. This is a weekly live show where we try our best to cover the topics that are most important to you during the show. If you haven't submitted a topic, question, etc., have no fear. All you have to do is drop it in the chat, and we'll try to add it to the topic list of our show. If, by some crazy-ass circumstance, we do not, unfortunately, cover that topic, it will be added to the next show.
Is that really such a crazy-ass circumstance?
It depends on the news cycle. So, anyways, ladies and gentlemen, let's jump right into it. And the first thing we're gonna do, I'm gonna basically bounce around the topic list here. So,
Bouncy.
So, we've been talking a lot about streaming services for gaming. Of course, you've got the Google Stadia, and of course, you have Amazon Luna. Well,
Yes,
Amazon
you do.
Luna suffered a humongous blow.
Oh,
It turns out, first of all, Amazon Luna was announced about 5 months ago. Okay, so this is Amazon's, I guess, version of Google Stadia. I think it's like a $4.99. Bless you. $4.99 subscription, monthly subscription, whatever. Anyways, the vice president of that organization, Mark Whitten, has left the company. Some people may recognize Mark's name from the fact that he worked at Microsoft from January 97 to March 2014, and he basically helped usher in the Xbox brand and was part of the most successful years of the 360.
so the Red Ring of Death?
Not the hardware, just the software execution. But
That's
anyways,
pretty epic.
so this gentleman right now, he has now accepted a job at Unity Create as I think the senior vice president. So I found that a little bit interesting. And the funny thing is, you look at all these game streaming services from like back in the day. You had OnLive. I guess you could go Game Tap, I guess. And it was all because of they didn't think big enough. But now it's not that you're talking about Google and you're talking about Amazon, two monstrous companies, but the problem is the gatekeepers, and that of course is the ISPs.
Yeah.
And the fact of the matter is that streaming games, uploading, basically download of constantly streaming games on top of what we're already doing because of this wonderful world of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Even me, who has a household of 4, we're just underneath that line. And if we were to get like a Google Stadia or a Luna, we'd be exceeding that and paying. We would have to pay overages every single month. And of course, from my understanding, the cap's going to get lower starting next month. Is that right?
Well, I guess my other question too would be, I think at some point in time, streaming is going to happen for gaming.
Agreed.
But I wonder if maybe we were overestimating the current state of streaming, even considering the data caps. I mean, you still consider the proliferation of consoles.
Yep.
I mean, you can't get your hands on a PS5.
Yep.
And
Zelius did, though.
I did, yes. In the bathroom at the car dealership. That came out wrong.
That's creepy. It was a bathroom deal, okay?
And then the Switch is still not exactly like easy. I mean, you can find it, but it's still very well selling.
Yep.
PC components you can find them, but they're always marked up.
Mm-hmm.
So the hardware sector, as far as playing the games locally, is still very much vibrant and healthy, which shows that people still obviously you have to download the games, but that's a different data usage than streaming it. But I think it shows that there's definitely still a local usage. I mean, even on your phone, you're still downloading that game to your phone to play. Think about even like battery life, right? Most of the time you're playing your iPhone not hooked up to a lightning charger.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to stream that game, that would also kill your battery even quicker. All that data, that kills batteries.
Absolutely.
So, I thought I was on the board of the Stadia and the Luna, and I probably overestimated also, thinking that it was right here, it was right now, but it's maybe still a few years off to become household, because a lot of the gamers of our generation, at least, we're still all about buying that hardware. We grew up in the days of the Sega and NES where you had those cartridges. And
That's
James
true.
brings to a point where the physics-based games will kill the battery. And you have things like Unity and Unreal Engine, which make producing games with those physics and those cool things a lot easier than ever.
Still, though.
What's that?
I said still, though, it's still going to drain your battery.
Oh no, yeah, it's still going to. It's if anything, our batteries can be drained quicker than ever.
Oh yeah.
Based on the games that you have now. So maybe I don't know. At some point, it's going to happen. But you also wonder if. So Google's trying to do it. Amazon's trying to do it. But they're also those kind of companies where if they're not making humongous profit margins off of it, they don't stay very long in those sectors, especially Google.
Yep.
And so that's why I mean, the problem with Google and the Stadia is they have to give up a piece of that pie to stream successful games from other developers. And long term, is Google going to want to do the profit sharing like that on their own stuff long term? Whereas they want to make all that money, like the Play Store and the App Store. That's money. Like that's just golden money for them for not doing a whole lot of work for both Apple and Android. But for like the Stadia, that's a lot of work for Google to do to make profit now.
Yes, but the thing is, and you can kind of see the writing on the wall. I mean, they closed their only first person or first party development team, partially because no one knows what's going to happen with the Stadia. Like Zelia said, Google has a tendency of throwing stuff up and then dropping it like a bad habit. And next second, hello Google Wave. Google it if you don't know.
Google Plus, Google the news, the old RSS news feed. They have so many products.
Oh yeah, but anyways, yeah, I think I would like to see the game streaming services succeed if they're reasonably priced. But the fact of the matter is, as long as our telecom infrastructure is the way that it is today, that any company that's going to try to do a game streaming service is going to have their nuts in a vice by the ISPs.
So just an interesting anecdote, because I've actually I've heard good things about people who've actually played the Stadia. As far as latency, apparently it's actually a good experience.
Yeah.
But on my PS5, I was trying to play earlier Shadows of Colossus, which is a PS3 game, so you can only stream it, which I get it. Hardware makes sense. But the load times... It
got released on PlayStation 3. It's not originally a PlayStation 3 game.
But it was released on PS3, so I'm playing the PS3 version of the game.
Okay.
But the load times and the save times were really long. Like to load the game took over a minute of just sitting there. Whereas a locally installed PS5 game was like instantly ready to play.
You know what that sounds like?
What?
The what the hell is it called? The PSP remote play option that you had on the PlayStation 3, where you could play your PlayStation 1 or 2 games over, like, the game would physically be in your PlayStation 3, and then you would play it. You'd be able to play it on your PSP. But oh dear God, it was beyond painful.
Did you actually try it out?
Oh hell yeah, hell yeah! Until my PSP battery went bad.
Sony mobile devices eating and killing batteries. That's a very iconic.
I don't know. Okay, so here's something funny. So we're talking about streaming games and whatnot. We're also talking one of the big components of most games out there today is the multiplayer component. Of course, requires online connection. So either you're streaming or you're doing it from your local hard drive, but you still have that up-down connection.
Oh yeah.
Well, interesting bit of news that came out recently. First of all, one of the big projects that was supposed to be BioWare's, next big thing, Anthem, has now officially died. They had pledged to basically to complete the fundamental work to bring out the full potential of the experience, specifically working to reinvent the core gameplay, clear goals, motivating challenges, and progression with meaningful rewards. Apparently, when BioWare went to the EA executives and said, okay, look, here's the deal. In order to really make this thing work, we got to go from a 30-person team to a 90-person team to really kick this thing in gear. And EA goes, nah, we're good.
Nah, we're good. Yep.
Yep. So no more Anthem.
So
However,
basically, they didn't allow the Final Fantasy 14 method where they actually invested in a reboot.
correct.
Yep.
But this is EA.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Final Fantasy, that's Square. They will take a chance. EA, if it doesn't immediately give me money. Anyways, I'm not letting my true feelings out much. But ironically, as a result, another big title that's coming from BioWare being published by EA, Dragon Age, the next one, the fourth one, is only going to be single player. They reportedly had a huge component that was going to be multiplayer that was going to be part of the next Dragon Age game. But because of what's happened with Anthem, they said, nope, take it all out.
Do you kind of feel like this is almost like BioWare's last hurrah as far as EA allowing them to stay open? It almost feels like if Dragon Age 4 is an epic fail, then you could basically say bye-bye to BioWare.
Look at it
Which
this
makes
way.
me sad.
Look at it this way. To be honest with you, if you want to kind of look at, I look at this as, yes, it's probably BioWare's, in names, last hurrah. I'm sure that most of the BioWare veterans have probably left and gone to other teams. But I feel this is kind of like what's happening with Blizzard, where they are, EA will keep the name BioWare, but basically what BioWare is going to die or is already dead, where Activision, what was Blizzard, is now dead, and they just have, companies that will make ports and, mess with existing code to make it look pretty, but underneath the Blizzard name.
The worry, like with the fail of Anthem, it makes you worry even more, which I know something you always lament, is the lack of unique IPs.
Yep.
And so now you have Dragon Age 4. You also have the legendary Mass Effect edition. You have Overwatch 2. It's like Diablo 2,
yep.
Resurrected, Diablo 2 Resurrected, Diablo 4. It's all these remakes and rehashes and like next iterations. And that's something BioWare did great, is they had the world of Mass Effect that they created. They created the world of Jade Empire. They created the world, I know it was a take on a world, but KOTOR. They're great at producing these massively awesome single player, in some case multiplayer possibly, like with Blizzard, worlds, and doing something phenomenal and unique because they're willing to do that, to go on a limb. But now it's the regurgitation of the same idea over and over, basically. And that's where, I've always followed the hack and slash realm, and that's where you've seen like Path of Exile take over basically for your more hardcore hack and slashers.
Right.
Not just because to stick it to Blizzard, but because Diablo 3 was just not a great game. It just didn't have anything interesting. It wasn't original. Whereas Path of Exile really threw basically the genre in its head with the crafting and the skill tree, which was basically taken from Final Fantasy X, but whatever. But they did that, whereas Diablo 3 just played it super safe and kind of boring, actually, with the skills.
You know what's funny was that Diablo 3 almost right off the bat had to do already had to do a graphic shift, because apparently they're like, Activision's like, we got to make it bright and pretty. And we're like, no, this is Diablo. So if you look at the screenshots right before the release, it was, like rays of sunshine, and you saw like green vegetation. Everyone's like, this is not Diablo, which is kind of it was the same feeling I had when I played Dead Space 3. Now, thankfully, so Blizzard changed it to make it the dreary Diablo we all, love. And then, of course, they didn't change Dead Space 3. They just left the lights on, which is stupid. But the other issue, and this is one that I still harbor very hard feelings against Zelius when it comes to Diablo 3, and that was that it was not abundantly obvious how to turn off the ability for one of your friends on your Battle.net account to join an already in play session. So Zelius, while I was fighting we also say that once an additional individual jumps into the game, the difficulty ramps up to kind of
yeah.
compensate. So what happened was Zelius jumped into one of my games that I was playing. I was just holding my own against a boss, and Zelius starts window shopping in town, and all of a sudden my ass just gets destroyed by the boss because the difficulty ramped up.
Look, I was just trying to help you up your game and get better at the game. It's not my fault that you're a noob.
You son of a bitch. Anyway, so, but yeah, I hope that.
I do. Did you read it? Did you see anything about the Diablo 2 Reforged though, or Resurrected? I keep on saying that.
No. What's happening now?
So what I did find interesting is the entire game is basically being remastered onto the original game. So like the actual original playing at 24 FPS under the scene with the same exact motions and grid view and all that stuff. It's literally just a graphics overhaul.
I have no ill feelings towards the developers that are stepping in, but that does not surprise me. These guys are the port masters. The you put a fancy cover over the port so that it works on the updated system or the mobile system or the handheld system. That's their stick. I mean, that's what they do. So I'm not like, oh my God, no way, because that's what they've done.
Yeah, I mean, it's from the looks of it, it's literally Diablo 2, just with better graphics. It's not well, let's tweak this because this wasn't right. Nope, it's just graphics.
Yep. So Zelius brought up Blizzard, and so we cannot let this topic go by. Let's talk about BlizzCon, Twitch, and Metallica. So as some of you may be old enough to remember, Metallica was that heavy metal band that basically goes, you're stealing my money by sharing our music online, thrash metal, whatever. Hair band? Would you call them a hair band?
What?
Would you call them a hair band?
Oh, they're not a hair band. No.
But they got so much hair.
That's squarely like a Def Leppard or Poison.
I know. I'm just trying to rile you up.
That's straight. You're gonna make me angry.
All right, so Metallica was basically was at the forefront of going after everyone trying to share music online for free and basically bring your pitchfork and torches. So, ironically, and of course you know that Twitch basically is now on the policy of if there is a 0.5% chance that a sound or song may be copyrighted, they will exit. And if they see it's egregious enough, they'll even ban your Twitch account.
Yep.
So, what do we have here? So, BlizzCon happened, and of course, BlizzCon is being streamed on Twitch. And the closing band is Metallica. So, I want to preface this real quick. So, if you actually went to the BlizzCon official Twitch stream, you were able to watch. Sorry. Yeah, you were able to watch the actual concert, I guess. And of course, if you're on YouTube, if you're on the BlizzCon official YouTube stream, you could also do it. However, what happened was Twitch usually grabs one of like the top channels for one of the tags, gaming, and throws it up on their Twitch gaming channel, which of course BlizzCon with Metallica is gonna be that.
Makes sense.
And so when it occurred, Twitch basically replaced all the band music, so they didn't get a DMCA takedown, with a plinky tune over top of Metallica. So it's just kind of like this, kind of yay me kind of music on top of watching James Hetfield and the rest of Metallica, thrashing their instruments.
They were trying to rock out, and the Twitch sound strikes again.
Now, yes, I find it funny. I find it humorous, and I understand that it was Twitch's own channel, so and it was not Blizzard's. Um, but I do, it's kind of humorous that it kind of all came together like that. You know, you got a
I
band
think it's just
who basically gets pissed off if someone gives you a 10-second freebie of any of their music, and you got Twitch who basically will go after everyone with everything they got for 10 seconds of potentially copyrighted music together.
just never have music on Twitch ever again. Problem solved.
The thing that, okay, so here's my biggest issue. And I'll say this many times.
Charlie has an issue?
If I understand there's a lot of games out there that have radio. And so you're going to get, like popular bands on the radio, like Grand Theft Auto and all that stuff. But if the music is the actual music of the game, like it was made specifically for the game, do not hit me with a DMCA.
But you don't have a license to that song because it's only licensed to you as a personal viewer in your household, sir.
I was just like, oh, you gotta be effing kidding me, because I got hit for an indie game. They're like, oh, you can't do that. That song's from this indie game. I'm like, yeah, it's the game I'm playing.
So how many strikes have you got?
1.
Oh, okay.
Thankfully, I've not been hit with, well, I don't play World of Warcraft, so I wouldn't have been hit with the strike for Sound of Wind Through Trees, which is a thing.
Yeah. Like, I know because at our robotics competitions, they always play, like, especially, like, 80s hair metal music.
Mm-hmm.
And if you watch a stream, especially after the fact, like, there'll be hours that are muted because obviously there is a auditory in the background of the music, but then Twitch doesn't really pick up that, oh, it stopped.
Yep.
And so you'll sometimes go like an hour with no audio because it's like, oh, we hear, Living on a Prayer, but then it doesn't realize that it stopped, and so it just continues to stay muted for quite some time.
Yeah, I think it basically, I think there's like an algorithm of, okay, we heard it, so we're going to give at least 2 minutes of silence, and then if there's any sound that doesn't match up with, if it could be construed as a potential soundbite from that band, I think then it just keeps adding on.
Yeah.
I think. I don't know. I'm not part of Twitch or YouTube or Facebook. I just exist on the platform.
You're part of the community, sir.
I'm part of the community, and I get informed when I do bad things, even though usually I don't see them as bad things. Like, playing a game whose music is in the game.
Because that's what you're supposed to do on Twitch is play games.
Play a game and get a strike because of a sound effect that's in the game that was for the game.
What if the sounds in the game make up a musical rhyme?
Oh God.
I mean, you do have games where you do have instruments that you can play, and I'm not talking like Rock Band. I'm talking like bells, so you can make the bells play a tune.
Uh-oh. So we're talking about a music creator, and you're getting nailed for utilizing the sounds of the instruments.
In a video game,
yes.
Even though, like, that song was not originally in the game, but we made that sound in the game.
I think you just get nailed for the sounds that created that song. Like, oh, that's guitar riff 4. That's copyrighted.
Just delete the game.
It's gone. It's all gone. Goodbye. Okay, so, what were we talking about? Okay, BlizzCon. Let's talk about. Oh gosh, darn it, my brain no working. Okay, let's do one more, and then we'll jump over to friends of the show real quick. For those out there who are Destiny 2 players, which I'm going to be totally honest with you, I gave up after Destiny 1 because I was just like, there's nothing to do. So I never even gave Destiny 2 a chance. Apparently,
Destiny 2, it was fun.
Apparently, there's this there was a new system that was implemented called the infusion cap system, which caused weapons to sunset after a certain amount of time. Well, Bungie's already come out after only existing for 4 months. That system is gone because everyone, the community called it the weapon sunsetting.
Yep.
So they're like, no, you're not going to do that. And so Bungie has decided not to do that. But also, for those out there who are interested, there will be cross-platform play coming later this year, which will allow individuals on. Okay, so here's the thing: they word it really weird. They said cross play between Windows PC and console players, not that console players and console players can do cross play, but PC to console. Which leads me to believe
consoles?
That it's probably Xbox and not Sony. Because we know their track record.
Yeah. PlayStation doesn't like to play with others. They don't like people.
We want you to pay for our IP and to use our stuff, but we don't want to allow you to enjoy others doing other things.
Well, so the weird thing with Destiny, the only reason sunsetting mattered is what you could do is you found like a cool gun. You could basically, if you found another gun, say like your gun was power of 20,
yep.
You really liked it, you found a gun power of 15, you could infuse gun power 15 into that gun power of 20 and up that to like 25 or something. So basically you found a type of gun, you could continuously in the past infuse that so you could continue to do raids and et cetera, et cetera. The thing that to me, though, is coming from the world of like World of Warcraft and Rift and Final Fantasy XIV, to me, the entire idea of not setting was actually kind of weird because in order to successfully raid future dungeons, you had to intentionally sunset your old gear to get better gear. So in a way, for me, I was like, well, duh, of course you have to sunset your own gear if you want the new gear. Now you could usually transmog it, at least in new versions, which means take skins basically and transform to old or newer, better gear because it looks cool.
Okay, can we just talk about the transmog real quick? Can that just be like a universal thing? For the love of God, I'm playing. What was it? I was playing Cyberpunk 2077.
Yep.
I wanted to have the best armor and stuff, but in order to do that, instead of being able to like redo the pants so they're not metallic, shiny, sparkle pink, so I could have like, I don't know, a more neutral color. I could never find that pair of pants. Or if I did, it would be like an armor of 1 versus the sparkly pants, which was an armor of like 75. If I could just take those two and like combine them so I could get the right color. Because I'm not saying, a palette switch because I want to. If I've got the exact same item, like, it's like cargo pants.
Yep.
And you have cargo pants, but this cargo pants is super shiny pink star power. That's 75. And you got like cargo pants, green, 1. Can I not just put like the green 1 on top so I don't look like I tried to get dressed in the dark? I'm just saying.
Almost like dressing in the dark. It's a daily adventure.
True. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a second here to give a shout out to all of the friends of the show. So, to listen in on all the awesomeness that is the love and support for Alter Confusion. The Indie Cluster is an organization of independent game developers that want to gain exposure by being involved in the community. They collectively journey to popular conferences as a traveling booth to help gain attention for their games. They make partnerships in local communities to bring games to the mainstream mindset. They highlight local, unusual, and rare concepts to challenge the paradigm of the common. They also host events to teach kids and minority groups about game development to hopefully one day enter the industry themselves. For more information, go to http:/indiecluster.com. Hero Chiropractic is a unique healthcare practice set up by Ryan Moore, the company's focus to elevate a patient's experience of freedom, creative expression, and joy. They believe that everyone can be a hero and has incredible heroic potential inside themselves waiting to be unleashed. Hero Chiropractic focuses on mobile chiropractic care in the greater Atlanta area. They are committed to healing clients by creating a plan of action uniquely suited for each person. They make that plan of action as convenient and affordable as possible, and most importantly, suited to your individual needs. For more information, go to www.herochiropractic.com. Nerdburger Games is the game design imprint of award-winning RPG designer Craig Campbell. Craig has done a whole bunch of RPG design freelancing in the past. Several years ago, he dove into designing his own RPG. Now, Nerdburger Games has multiple RPGs and is showing no signs of stopping. Nerdburger Games endeavors to create games that explore corners of the RPG landscape that haven't been explored, or haven't been explored very often. These games forego dense gaming mechanics in favor of a lighter rule set that allow players to focus on telling fun, engaging, memorable stories. After yet another successful Kickstarter, their library has increased in size. Currently, the games that at least Zelius and I have played are Capers, Die Laughing, Merzen Acquisitions, and of course, the soon-to-be-played Good Strong Hands. For more information, go to www.nerdburgergames.com. Battle & Brew is Atlanta's first and oldest gaming bar and restaurant. Opened in 2005, Battle & Brew had a very modest menu, a few beer taps, and focused heavily on gaming. Now, they have grown to encompass so much more. They pioneered geek trivia in Atlanta and remain the hardest trivia in town. They have upgraded the menu from only a few items to all your bar favorites, and some soon-to-be favorites. They've expanded the gaming and kept everything top of the line. They've taken a good place and made it a great place. A place where the staff listens to your desires and suggestions. A place where you and your friends feel like you're at home. A place where everyone knows your game. For more information about Battle & Brew, go to www.battleandbrew.com. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you enjoyed getting to know some of our friends of the show. Now, if you would like to be added to that Friends of the Show, all you need to know is that Ultra Confusion has a Patreon. Patreon is allows us to live and create thanks to supporters like you. It's a monthly donation, which in turn allows you to have exclusive content, access to exclusive content, community, and insight into our creative process. And of course, that allows us to keep the lights on, helps us upkeep the equipment, go to conventions, because conventions are expensive, and whatnot. So we have two different levels. If you want to be part of the Friends of the Show, it's a $5 level. That's $60 a month. $60 a year, $5 a month. And there's also a $1 level. Now, at the $1 level, what you'll gain is the ability to get early access to all the playthroughs that are posted, and you'll also be able to take part in polls that will help future Ultra Confusion content. Now, of course, once again, and that $1 would be $12 a year. The $5.
Whoa, that's 2 cups of coffee.
I know. The $5, of course, would be $60 a year, and that will allow you to add your name or your organization to the Friends of the Show section of all future Thursday night hangouts. So if you're interested, go to patreon.com/ultraconfusion and subscribe today. Now that we got that out of the way, ladies and gentlemen, I do want to tell you about something that is super duper important to myself, Zelius, and many, many others, and that is Ultra Confusion is once again taking part in Extra Life. This will be our 10th straight year. Extra Life is gamers doing what we do best, gaming, to help sick and injured children at our chosen Children's Miracle Network Hospital. The hospital that we play for is the Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. The money we raise goes directly to Children's Healthcare of Atlanta as unrestricted funds. This means that the hospital decides where and how to spend the money to ensure the dollars we raise make the biggest impact in the lives of the kids they treat. So if you have the ability, please go to extra-life.org and search for Ultra Confusion, and you can donate today. Now, if you
you don't want to say that really long URL?
No, I'm not going to try to do that. Now, if you are interested in taking part in Extra Life yourself, you can create your own profile, or hopefully, if the Ultra Confusion team page is working, you can join the team. Just give me a heads up, and I'll add you to the team so that you can help fundraise with us.
Amazing.
Now, of course, ladies and gentlemen, I know that a lot of you out there want to support Ultra Confusion, but maybe you don't want to do it in a financial way. Or, real quick, if you do want to do it in a financial way, but a one-time thing, there is a PayPal option. If you're on our Twitch show, it's in the box down below. And if you're not on Twitch, all you got to do is go to www.alteredconfusion.com. It's in one of the bars. When you scroll down, there's a donate now button, and it's a one-time PayPal donation. Now, there are individuals out there who may want to supply Altered Confusion with something that's not money, like, I don't know, shirts, T-shirts. Shirts and T-shirts, the same thing, dummy. Hats.
Beer.
I don't know if you could... See, I'm a little bit cautious about interstate commerce when it comes to alcohol. I don't know
What
how
about interstate?
Yeah.
There's people we know who live in Georgia.
That's true. Mountain Dew, Funko Pops, whatever. If you want to send that stuff to us, all you got to do is mail it to 1551 Dunwoody. That's DUNWOODY Village Parkway. This next part is the super duper important part. That is number 88276. Without that number, it just goes to the post office. It will be returned to you. That number 88276 is the PO box number, and if you put it there, we can get it. The city, of course, once again, is Dunwoody, DUNWOODY, Georgia 30338. And as I've stated in previous shows, I am trying to do better by checking the PO box more often so that we don't have the fiasco that happened, I guess, a month ago. I checked yesterday. There was just
Look
junk
at
mail.
you, big boy pants.
I know, big boy pants. I checked yesterday. There's only junk mail. It's okay.
Junk mail, yay!
Yay!
I guess that's the benefit of not checking is the junk mail all gets returned.
No, it doesn't.
Wait, they return the legit mail, but not the junk mail?
They return packages.
Oh.
But as long as they can keep, I mean, literally, there have been times where I've had so much mail just jammed into my little PO box. I'm like, how did? Look at some of the postmarks on this stuff. This is older than the package slips, and you're letting me keep that.
They got skills, man.
I know. Anyways,
skills thrills.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's jump back into the topics. And the first topic that I want to talk about, this is actually a topic that's kind of been bounced for a couple shows, and that is speedruns. So,
does Charlie do speedruns?
No. If I do, it's not on purpose. So the latest speedrun, I guess, I don't want to say fiasco.
Controversy.
Saga. Yeah, there you go. Controversy is the fact that there is a level in Hitman 3 that tasks players to eliminate 2 targets inside a heavily fortified skyscraper, with one of the potential victims routinely wandering around the upper floors and constantly flanked by security. Well, it turns out that if you just have dumb mad skills, you could beat that level in 10 seconds.
Whoa.
So, of course, everyone's up in arms like, oh, my God, look, what are we paying for? Okay. As we've said many, many times, if you're trying to play the game as fast as you can possibly play, then that is how you're going to play the game. For those individuals who are not trying to get under 10 seconds, you're probably going to get your money's worth because there's a shit ton amount of game. I mean, it's the same thing with, was it Skyrim? You could beat all of Skyrim if you just do just the main missions. I think it's like 16 minutes. But I played Skyrim for over 100 hours. You know, you could probably, if you were to speed run Cyberpunk 2077, I'm pretty sure you could beat it like under an hour. But I spent over 100 hours. It's all in the way you play.
People actually pay attention to like speedrunner times. That makes no sense. Like literally 0 cents.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Well,
if you really want to know the average time, you can just go howlongtobeat.com and find the game and see what the actual time to beat a game is.
I'm sure that what they do is they probably just pull the game data from like Steam and stuff and go, okay, how much time did this person, and just like create an algorithm and average all the hours put forward to produce that number, which totally makes sense.
You actually have to put in your numbers.
Oh, boo. I don't know do that. Manual labor? Come on.
Hey, for you need some labor in your life, sir.
All right. So, so that was the first part of the topic, speedrun. But then there was a follow-up topic from a fan who basically asked, and I'll go first, and then I'll let Zelius answer. What is a speed run to you? So a speed run to me is just basically trying to get through the game as fast as possible. I know that some people, I don't know why you would. Okay, there are people out there for some reason who want to try to do the completionist, which is 100% completion, speed running, which I don't know why. I don't know how. That makes my head hurt.
That sounds mentally painful.
Yes. Speed run to me is go as fast as you can to start to end. That's it. I don't know. I don't think if you're going for 100% completion, I don't think it's a speed run at that point. I could be wrong.
But I guess if you're trying to do it as long as possible, then I guess kind of.
I don't think
Right?
that I don't think trying to do if you're trying to accomplish a completionist, which is 100% completion, you can't be speedrunning. Can you? I mean, that's like a niche market of a niche market. It's like, oh, we're part of the speedrun scene. Okay, but inside that speedrun scene is the ones who completed 100% of the game the fastest.
Well, that remind me. So when I was back in the day, I lived with a roommate in high school, or college, not in high school, in college, and he was really active on the Game Facts forums back when that was a big deal.
Is that Mason?
Yes.
Okay.
And one of the big deals was basically 100% completion in the games.
Yep.
Was a huge deal because a lot of the games, in order to do 100% completion, you kind of had to gimmick the game a little bit. So like one instance, for instance, was the original OG Kingdom Hearts on PS2. And I remember in order to get 100% completion, you got to get hit less than 100 times in the game to get the right special ending for that. In order to do that, you had to get a high enough like dodge rating on the first island, like a high enough dodge rating, so you had to get up to like level 50 on the first island. And so the dude spent like 20 hours on the first island and just grinding that first island. And that was a really big deal. So it does make natural sense that there's a like cross pollination of the two, where it's not just a speed run. Because on its own crux, a speed run is yes. How long does it take to finish the game? Period. Into discussion. But like the English language allows us to do, we can add modifiers and qualifiers to said statement. And one such modified statement is 100% completionist to the fastest possible is a legitimate stat.
I'll be honest with you. I'm not going to be in either. I'm not going to be in either group.
Oh no, I don't get either of them.
I gave up on trying to be a completionist back in 1997 when I missed out on one character in Suikoden where you have to collect 108 characters, and I had 106. And you're like, but you said 108. If you had 106, that means you're missing 2.
Yeah.
Oh shit! It's what it was originally released in '95 in Japan. So there is one character that you only have one chance to get, and he is a side alley in one city. That once you leave that city, the city gets burned to the ground. And you never get that character. I accidentally, literally at the last minute, like, oh, there's the alley, and I walked out, and then the rest is history. Because what happens is you got that guy. One of the guys that you have dies, but if you have that guy at the end of the game, the guy who dies comes back, so you have the full 108. So you bastard! Anyways. And also, I like to enjoy my games. I think that's way too much pressure on me personally to do speedruns. I'm not going to try to do things as fast as possible. That's not to say that if I've done something like a million times that I won't just do it as fast as possible to get onto the next part of the game. But I'm not going to try to do it from point A to point B. Ah, Mr. Sims is in the audience now.
Oh, dear.
Yep, everything. Oh, jeez. So, I mean, Zelius, has there ever been a time where you've tried to do a speed run?
No, doesn't appeal to me.
I think the only time that I've really tuned into or like paid attention to a speed run is like when it's really like an old school game, like watching a speed run of the original Super Mario Brothers. That is entertaining to me because it takes
also nostalgia.
You know, it's all about timing the jumps correct. And then, of course, if you want to go crazy, you need to. If you don't know about this band yet, it's called Bit Brigade. They have one guy on the stage who'll be playing an original Nintendo game. It could be Zelda, could be Mario, could be a bunch of things, and the band will play the music and sound effects while this guy plays the game because they've timed it that well. That is cool. I would never do that, but it's really freaking cool to watch.
Yep, can't help you there. Don't know that one.
You should. I mean, you should probably check it out. So, we just talked about speed runs. Now let's talk about plagiarism.
Are we plagiarizing now?
No, we're not. But in the world that is the world, there are individuals out there trying to make a quick buck by basically doing sad copies of someone else's work. Zelis and I, thankfully, have never had that happen to us personally, but we have seen there was an artist at MomoCon, I think they were actually another convention we were at, who was basically stealing other artists' work, adding a couple filters in like Photoshop, and then selling the work for like $50.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
But then there was that story I think it was like a month or two ago about the big YouTube gamer who was basically doing a commentary for this early look of a game. It turns out that he stole the entire script from a smaller YouTuber. So
nice.
Let's talk about this story is about digital art or just artistry in general, and that is there's a gentleman by the name of Butch Hartman. Butch Hartman is the creative mind behind Nickelodeon shows such as Fairly Odd Parents and Danny Phantom. He has been constantly put underneath the microscope when it comes to his commission art, because it turns out that he has a very bad habit of charging $200 for his commission art. And what he does is from my understanding, this is my interpretation of what he does, he scans the internet for little-known artists that have done that exact same thing, and then he puts his Butch Hartman twist on it. But literally, the pose is the same, the dimensions are the same, but he makes it slightly different. The latest one, I think, was from Attack on Titan. But thankfully, because of the internet and the vast majority of the independent artist scene, they look out for each other. And so as soon as Butch Hartman posted a picture of, look at this amazing Attack on Titan piece I just did for my good friend at whatever, someone immediately goes, dude, that looks like someone else's work. And then they get in contact with artists. And then you put them side by side. First of all, the smaller, little-known artist, that picture's phenomenal. And then, to be honest with you, the Butch Hartman one's a piece of shit. But it literally is identical. So you got this. On top of that, let's talk about another awesome thing to really piss off all your fan base. Kickstarter. So in 2018, Butch Hartman decided to launch a Kickstarter campaign for an entertainment network. It was going to be a family-friendly alternative to other streaming services. It raised over $268,000, and then came a little bit more info on it that none of the backers were aware of, and that was that he basically was going to put he was going to focus most of his stuff on Christianity. And everyone's going, whoa, no, family friendly, not family friendly, with the caveat that it has to be Christian. And as of right now, I believe, as of right now, the website for this entertainment network is almost ready, which Yeah, no.
Are you excited for all this family-friendly content then, sir?
No, I think he's taking the money and run. And the
Oh,
funny thing is,
that's friendly.
yeah. So this guy, he at one point he left Nickelodeon and started his own YouTube channel, and he actually had a pretty good, I'd say, I think it was like 800,000 viewers at the height. Um, and because of all these scandals after scandals, and then this entertainment network that still hasn't shown up, all of his videos are lucky to get 10,000 views in total.
And what did he have before?
He had 800,000 subscribers. So you're looking
Oh,
at least 800,000 views per video,
yep.
plus more.
I would say it's a little bit of a difference.
Yes, I would say so too. But look, don't
Don't
cheat.
cheat.
Yeah, don't cheat.
Yeah,
I mean,
see, there you go.
I
Problem
don't know
solved.
how else to put it. Don't steal someone else's work. If you can't do it, say you can't do it, or learn how to do it.
I don't know how to do it.
Are you willing to learn?
I'd rather just steal somebody else's work so I can spend that time doing other stuff.
No.
No? Why not?
No.
What's
'Cause
wrong with that, sir?
that's not how the world works.
Isn't that winning? Actually, that really is kind of how the world
I
works.
know it is. I know it is. But it's not the way the world should be, okay? I'm, I'm,
Touche.
I'm trying to look at things nicely, okay? Damn it, Celius.
It's not my fault that you're a idealist. That's
Whatever.
actually a scary thought.
So yeah, things that I've learned since being introduced to Kickstarter. Make damn sure that the project that you're trying to support is actually going to see all. It's going to be able to go all the way through. You're going to see it to fruition. Make sure that the stretch goals don't get absolutely insane. And do not pledge on something that is just a promise or a prototype.
But I promise that this is gonna be like the best game ever, dude, and it's gonna be awesome. And so I think that you should play my game because it's gonna be the best game. Yeah,
No.
the bestest game.
So I will fully admit that I've basically, if I were to look at the history of the games that I've backed on, or sorry, the history of Kickstarter projects that I have backed, and then if I were to take the amount of money that from the Kickstarter projects that I either at this point I feel like lost, or a chunk of that project was lost, I'd say that I've probably at least $400 down.
That's about
'Cause
my GameStop investment. That's how that went.
because there's two projects that will never see the light of day, but it's so far beyond. I'm not going to get up. I won't. First of all, one of them is before that the refund clause, so that ain't gonna happen. And what really sucks is that I got to know the developer and I got really excited, and yeah. I could have bought myself a PlayStation 5 if I could have found one, Sims. If I could have found one.
I mean,
But then again, I'm not a Sony guy.
it's taken me a few games to figure out that, it's a terrible day in life. Game one purchases.
You mean day one?
What did I say?
Game one.
Wow. Yes, day one game purchases. Yeah, wait 5 days and see if like it still is, Mac Dad as everybody thinks it is. If it is, great. Get it 5 days late.
I would push it out even further than 5 days. I'd say the first 10. Wait 10 days. Because chances are you may run into the issue that I ran into, and that was the game tried to create a read-only directory and then put a file in there, which it couldn't. And so it kept giving me a disk read error. Or
it's not my fault you didn't install it correctly.
Or you have a game that once everyone truly gets into it, crashes the server. SimCity.
Speaking of servers.
Yes, sir.
Did you see the sad news?
Oh, God, what happened now?
Defiance?
No!
Defiance 2050 are officially shutting down, I think, at the end of April.
Sad day. I never actually got to play 2050.
Uh,
I always
from
meant
what
to.
I from what I've read, Defiance is the better version. Basically, 2050 was supposed to be like a remaster of Defiance, and basically it was more of a cash grab.
Hey,
To even more microtransaction was basically the goal.
of course. Speaking of,
And
keep going.
the thing that the thing that makes me sad is like I really feel like I will stand by Defiance was just as fun as Destiny, if not more fun.
Agreed.
I really think if it had better marketing and like more push behind it, and it didn't just stay we're the Defiance video game, like it tried tying in too much to the television series, so people who weren't interested in TV series didn't care. And I
I,
feel like they've really branched down better marketing. It really could have taken off because
I,
I thought it was a great game.
I kind of agree with the fact that it was tied in with the marketing. I think that it was set in the same universe, but if to be honest with you, I think that if Defiance, the game, uh, was being developed by Riot Games, that damn thing would have taken off like a motherfucker. Because by the
Yeah,
way, Riot Games is now creating an MMO. They're accepting applications right now to create uh, an MMO that is set in the League of Legends universe.
oh yeah,
Um, but speaking of microtransactions, you know that we have we're in that time where consumers are finally starting to push back on the random loot box, loot crate, and there's a bunch of lawsuits out there, especially one in North Carolina, I think. So there's a bunch of companies that have been settling with gamers over loot box fiascos. For those who don't know what a loot box is, it's basically you pay real world money for a box that has a random item that could be trash or the most epic item you've ever seen. And it's called gambling and betting
yes,
and a game
it
of
is
chance.
gambling.
So there was an item called the Loot Llama in Fortnite that players purchased, and so this was part of one of the settlements. They Epic has gone out and is basically reimbursing all of the people who bought the Loot Llama. Now, and I want everyone's opinion on this. What they've decided to do is give you 1,000 V-Bucks, which is the in-game currency, like the special in-game currency, which basically translates into $9.99. I couldn't find the price of what the Loot Llama originally cost. I'm hoping that was $9.99. But what is your feeling, Zelius and audience, about when companies have to kind of like reimburse you for something that is way beyond sketchy, and they just give you in-game currency? Actually, you know what? That's the GameStop model.
So they basically got.
Oh, he's sneezing. Oh boy.
So they basically have a gambling mechanism,
Yep.
and they're basically actually further reinforcing that gambling mechanism by giving you more ability to gamble in game. Is really what they're doing. Because the
Sort of.
whole point of gambling, what?
I said sort of. Yeah. Yeah.
Because the whole point of gambling is to get that high. It's people go. You see all the time where people go into casinos, and they don't gamble because they win. They gamble because they win, and they get the high, the endorphins, and so they think they can win over and over and over again.
Yep.
Loot boxes are no different. Well, most people, 98% of them. You get, and then you get, same thing with loot boxes. You're gonna get all this free money. You're gonna win that sweet epic loot box. So the future, when you run out of the free currency, well, I can win again. So you're gonna pay more money. I think it's predatory and terrible.
I'm going to be totally honest with you. First of all, I do want to point out that Epic has decided this lawsuit was only in the U.S., but they decided to basically give gamers all over the world who got that the 1,000 V-Bucks. Our friend Sim says, "Give me the cash." Now, I do understand that by doing it with in-game currency, you're also kind of not having to worry about exchange rates or the power of the dollar or the ruby or the euro or the insert currency name here. Because I'm sure that if they were to give you, reimburse you in whatever your currency is, that there might be like slight changes.
But it also literally doesn't cost the developer money. Like, they're giving him fake currency.
Oh no, I know.
Like,
but now you can buy more stuff in the game,
which literally costs the publisher nothing.
right? Our friend Sims goes, it's not hitting their bottom line either. It's
that's what I mean. Yeah, it's you're not actually punishing anyone. Like, nobody's actually being punished.
Right.
Like,
but they're like,
I bet if
sorry.
anything, they're going to look at their bottom line and think, oh, look at all these extra microtransactions people purchased. It doesn't matter that it came from basically free currency they gave everyone. They're just going to see even better. So they're doing better. So this is actually working.
No, let's be honest. The thing is, if for anyone out there who's bought, like, done microtransactions, the first one is the hardest, and then it gets easier. They give you, I don't know what the price of all those things in Fortnite is, but I'm gonna guess that it doesn't exactly equal out to 1,000 V-Bucks. It's probably like 600 V-Bucks. So you'd be like, oh, that was a cool item, and then it'll release something new. You're like, oh, I know that I've got the 400 V-Bucks left over, but I want this new thing, and so they buy into it. So, it's it's like going into a casino and they're fronting you $100, and then you lose track of time. You start winning, then you start losing, and the next thing you know, you empty out your bank account, and it's the $100 investment they gave to you ends up netting them, I don't know, $1,500 bare minimum.
That's exactly right. I agree. Yes, I hate loot boxes. Like, yep.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if they're for item games or if they're for skins or whatever they are. I really, really dislike the purchasing of loot boxes in general.
I've got no issues with buying the supreme super special currency with my real money for things that will translate into actual purchase in the game, like Legends of Runeterra. If I use the money to get a new board or a new pet on the side or some new emoticons.
But are you actually purchasing with the currency?
Mm-hmm.
Are you getting the board of epicness? Do you know you're getting this specific?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, I'm totally fine with that.
Yes.
Yeah, but not in this box could be the Sword of Awesomeness plus 55, or it might be Peeny Weeny Teeny Weeny minus 5.
I particularly in PvP games where it's for competitive balance.
Yep.
Yeah, it really kind of makes me angry.
I'm right there with you. Okay. So some out there, I'm going to be totally honest with you. I do not really follow DC movies. Basically,
because they're terrible.
Yeah, basically. I think the last one was The Dark Knight Rises. I think
that was a good movie.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to no. I watched Wonder Woman. That was phenomenal. But the vast majority of them are trash. And then I've never seen this movie, The Justice League, but apparently there's now like a bajillion different versions, and the one that everyone really likes is the Snyder Cut.
Ooh.
And so the question that I was asked to present to the class was, do you think that the fact that the Justice League has, the let's see here, they got the theatrical cut, the director's cut, the black and white cut, the Snyder's cut, the black and white Snyder cut, that we're kind of setting us up for future movies where we might just like the consumer will get like all the film and you can basically piece it together to make your awesome epic version of the film that you think is the best?
No. This reeks of a movie that the director had one vision and the studio had another vision, and the director did not get to get his vision that he thought should be produced. And so the studio said, do it this way. It was done that way, and it was a shit-tastic movie. So now they are trying to basically fix their rear end. You're not seeing this with Marvel movies because they actually have a vision and they actually don't have a terrible product, whereas DC continuously puts out turd poo because they don't let their people actually do their jobs.
What?
I think I honestly, I mean, I totally get what that's coming from that question,
Hmm.
but I feel like this is really a case of the movie producers trying to basically recoup the cost of the movie, and trying to make some kind of profit of it from a movie that they thought would basically compete with the Avengers and just didn't.
Is
Is what
that
it comes
where?
down
Let's
to.
see. Sims asks, "Is that the one where they changed directors after filming? Director lost his daughter." I don't. I don't know.
I
I don't know. Uh,
I
but
know what you're talking about.
yeah, I don't.
Ah,
I don't know. We'll have to research that. But I understand where this line of thinking is, and you're right. It's to try to recoup some of the money that they thought they were going to make, but they didn't because it was absolute garbage. Um, and and there, I think that uh, Lord of the Rings really was the movies that showed that if you give like the epic version of every single movie, that people will pay a shit ton of money, and so you are seeing these a lot more director cuts. Now, my issue is that I personally think that there is a time after the movie is released for you to make any humongous changes. Like, how do I put this? You cannot do what Lucas did. You cannot go back into the original Star Wars movies and start editing scenes so it's clearer who shot first. You can't do
yes,
that.
that's like after the fact. Yeah, I mean, you guys knew what the movie was. You had your production time. Just make the damn movie.
But here's the thing: it you everyone loved the movie how it was for like 20 years, and all of a sudden you're like, you know what? We need to clarify these nerd questions. Like, no, you don't.
That's part of what makes it so great is that there are those questions. That's what makes it such a legendary question. And by eliminating the question, you kind of defeat the whole purpose in the first place.
Well, it's like
Like,
everyone's allowed to have their own opinion when something's a little bit vague. Like who actually did shoot first, or in Inception, did Cobb actually go all the way out, or is he still in someone's dream? Whose dream is he
Pulp,
in?
in Pulp Fiction, what was in the briefcase?
Yeah, what was in the brief? Or hell, the movie Rodin, what was in the briefcase? Because that's a briefcase as well.
I never saw Ronin.
Oh, it's a good one.
I've
Um,
heard. Yeah.
or well, technically you saw it for like half a second, but in Seven, what's in the box?
Oh God, that's just no, no, no.
But seriously,
Oh,
that you know what that one is. But the thing
yes.
is, look, if your movie or your book or whatever is good enough that you have people talking about it forever, you don't have to correct or try to clarify any ambiguity. I understand that at some point you're like, okay, seriously, you guys don't understand what's going on here. You want to make it easier for people to figure out, but you got to step away, man.
Or another
What's your
modern day one. Sorry. Another one is how Tolkien or not Tolkien, good gosh. Um Rowling keeps trying to further comment about things with the characters from the original Harry Potter. It's like, no, just stop even talking about it. Like you're not helping anything. Just leave the original 7 books that we all loved as they were. And you don't need to make it as some crazy geopolitical issue that you're now trying to do with all your books.
okay? So that's something else too. Is you what you call it? Uh, when you basically rewrite his,
Revisionist.
huh? Yeah, revisionist.
Yeah.
Because to be more PC, you give more background and clarity to specific characters that you're now introducing in later stories that just don't match up. and have people going, what? Don't do that.
I agree. It's not necessary and just makes, if anything, it's gonna make, like, people could get over the incongruities and those kind of things,
Mhm.
but you go back and you start trying to actively rewrite previous history, that's totally different, and that's only gonna upset people. Uh, People get over inconsistencies in future iterations. I mean, that's what we do. That's suspension of belief. That's just normal. It's when you start rewriting that previous history, that's when people start losing their monkey balls.
So okay, so here's one other thing that I'll say, and that is there are some movies that are so bad they're good, and I once again, once you've let your baby out into the wild, let it live, and whatever it ends up being, it might be you think it's a masterpiece, but people think it's garbage, but it's so hot garbage that everyone you gain like a cult following behind it because you're just like, yes, I have to watch Trolls 2, which has nothing to do with Trolls 1. It actually has to do with, I think it was like goblins in the city of Noblig, which is goblin spelled backwards. Spoiler alert!
I don't know if
Uh,
I've ever actually seen the movie.
I have only seen pieces of it. I'm like, this is the stupidest thing in the world. But there are,
But I
like,
thought you said it was a cold hit. You should have watched the whole thing.
no, thank you. There are some
No?
cold hits out there that I have watched, and there's some
So what
cold
is
hits
your
out there
favorite cold hit?
mm,
Mm.
Boondock Saints.
Is that really a cult
Yep.
hit, or is that just? I mean,
Technically,
like,
yes.
nobody considers that a bad movie. I guess
Exactly.
when I think, I mean, that's not a, nobody thinks it's a bad movie.
No, but it has a cult-like following.
Okay, fair enough.
Donnie Darko
Ooh,
is
that's
another
good.
one.
I mean, you're talking about critically acclaimed movies now.
All right, fine. Grandma's Boy.
Okay, there you go.
I love Grandma's Boy. I love that. When it's on, I watch it all the way through, man. But I will fully admit it's not the most intellectually stimulating movie, but I love it.
It's classic Adam Sandler. What do you expect? They're not
But
supposed to be
without Adam
intellectual.
Sandler.
I thought one had Adam Sandler.
No, he was the executive producer on it. It was his buddy who
Oh,
did the entire thing.
hmm.
Sandler apparently showed up on the set like maybe 4 or 5 times throughout the entire thing, but he just let his buddies, go with it. For
Well,
those of
that's
you,
how he made his post-career basically on Netflix.
yeah,
Is all the Adam ones you see on Netflix? They're
hmm
all like 100%. He just has his buddies over, and they just like have a party making a movie, basically.
like and why
Like they
not?
weren't. I
Yeah,
mean, people pay money to do it. I would do the same thing.
hell yeah. I mean, it's there. Adam Sandler, I think, is an example of he's gotten far enough in life where he's just like, you know what? Let's just do a stupid movie. Me and my buddies, let's do it. For those who
And
are
people want them.
interested, the lead Happy Gilmore just celebrated his 25th year. Um,
That's
this
a
one's
scary
for
thought.
you, shooter.
That
Um,
was it's a classic.
but okay, actually, ironically, speaking of Happy Gilmore, in the movie, in the movie, Happy, played by Adam Sandler, has to find himself a caddy for when he jumps on the pro tour. And he picks basically this homeless guy who's cleaning the windows of the cars in the parking lot. That guy, the actor who plays his caddy, is actually the lead in Grandma's Boy.
So it was another
Boom.
one of his buddies.
Oh yeah, it's one of his buddies
Nice.
from like way back when.
That's awesome.
But yeah, look, there are going to be movies out there that, for some reason, need a director's extended edition. But the vast majority of the movies out there are either they're going to sink or swim, and there's nothing you could do about it.
Well, okay, but I'll give one exception to that.
All right.
Lord of the Rings.
I will never watch the extended thing. It was long enough unextended.
I want to stab you through my webcam with this.
How about this? How about The Hobbit? How do you make it, was it 3 or 4 movies for just
Okay.
a book?
I was talking about Lord of the Rings, damn it, not The Hobbit. Now you're just making me angrier. I'm going to stab my cat by accident now.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. No, but seriously, like,
Here, eat it.
yeah, I understand. I mean, for those, the beautiful thing about the extended editions was that it allowed for those individuals, those hardcore fans, to get even more. and I'm okay with that. But it just this whole Snyder cut and stuff. It just feels like, do you like this? How about this? How about this? How about this? What if we did this? Would you be okay with this? It's just, I don't know.
It reeks of desperation.
Yes, absolutely. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like we have unfortunately reached the end of our show. As you saw, Zelius's overlord has appeared several times in the frame, informing Zelius that she is hungry and she needs his undivided attention. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in to the Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout. For myself, Charlie, and Zelius, it's been a pleasure giving you everything on our heads, our mouths, and of course, our hearts. We'll be back next Thursday for another Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout.
Remember, kids, keep on gaming in the free world.
Amen to that, brother. Helps if I actually pay attention to the actual stream and not the Facebook stream, because I was like, oh, look at that. We're already back. I'm just staring off to the side.
Oh, yeah, because of the delay.
Yeah.
Yep.
But anyways, ladies, gentlemen, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
And thank you for coming, Sims. It's always a pleasure.
Yes, but of course, you helped make the night. Oh, and James, if you're still around, thank you for tuning in, my friend. We need to talk about Cell Block Studios off air, though.
Oh, off air. That sounds. Do you guys need a room?
No, we're just going to talk about a specific game.
Oh, okay.
Oh, crap. I had a question that I was going to ask you and anybody else who's still tuned in. What the hell was the question now?
I don't know. There's so many.
Okay,
options.
so you know how there are streaming services like YouTube TV, whatever, that basically take into effect your local, I guess, like networks, TV stuff, all that, whatever.
Yep.
So there is a popular social media person who's being sponsored by a VPN service, and
Yes,
part of
that's
their
more.
part of that individual spiel is the fact that, well, if you don't want to miss out on this show that's only airing in Australia, use this VPN. Isn't that illegal? I just want some clarity. Like, you're basically, let me tell you how to circumnavigate the rules.
I mean, is it actually? But it's not illegal to use a VPN. I don't know if it's actually illegal to do that. I really don't. I mean, it can't be illegal to advertise that. Like, it's. I see it everywhere.
I know, but I don't know. It just feels weird. You know, like,
I know what you mean.
I'm like this close to being like, you know what? Yeah, let me get that VPN so I can pretend that I'm in, I don't know, San Francisco, so I can actually watch Atlanta Hawks games. Because
you should actually do that.
I know I'm very tempted to do that, so I can watch the damn games because I can't.
I've not thought about that because most of the time people do it because it's like they live somewhere other than the United States, and you can do it like stateside.
Yeah.
Or something along those lines. You know what I mean? So that's usually it's countries, but I didn't think about like local geographic.
Well, yeah, for your local networks, you know, like for your sports affiliates.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, if I was going to do that, I would also configure the VPN to also pretend I'm in Australia, because there's a couple shows that the kids love to watch that are available on Amazon Prime, but only in Australia.
Really?
Yeah.
What shows?
It's called Geronimo Stilton.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
It's awesome.
What is it?
It's basically a it is a news
hand
reporter.
or my pen?
It's a news reporter who goes on adventures, and it's all set in a world of like mice. Everybody's a mouse, and it's really good. It's really well written, and they've got tons of books and whatnot. But you can't watch it. You can't watch it on Amazon unless you're in Australia.
So how'd you find out about it?
It was on Netflix. There was like one of the seasons was on Netflix for like a couple months, and then it disappeared, and we got very sad because like, oh, we liked that show. But yeah.
Oh, goodbye.
But I wanted everyone's opinion on the VPN thing because I don't know. I just
No, I know what you're saying. I mean, I don't think it's illegal, but I could see where it's a little bit interesting that that's what they'd be actively advertising.
Yeah. Oh, just it. I don't know. It just feels weird, you know? Like, let me tell you about circumnavigating walls that have been put in place.
Pretty much, yeah, pretty much.
Oh, fun side story. So, actually, two stories real quick. So, there was a game that I played recently called Unforgotten. It's it's kind of like a visual novel from a company that's from Russia. And so I played all the way through, and I was like, oh, that's weird. I must have missed something. So I tried to play it again. The executable's gone. Like, it's gone. So I was like, okay, uninstall game. Remove the game directory. Reinstall. It can't even rebuild the game directory.
Nice.
So I'm like, well, shit. So I was like, well, F this. I'm going to play a game that I've always wanted to play, and that, of course, is Tales from the Borderlands.
Okay.
Because,
Oh, yeah.
so it's like, okay, I'll just play that. So every single time I got into the game, basically, like, I don't know, mid-conversation, I had to go help with my kid. And so I had to pause and then stop recording and then hit recording and then resume. I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm going to hate myself having to edit this shit together because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 videos that I've got to take out the pause screen little blip between mid-conversation to the conversation continuing. But it's a great game. Holy crap. I played the first episode of it, and I'm like, yes, I need more. But then again, you're talking about a company that was super duper impressive, popular, was on the top of the game, Telltale Games.
Yep.
Single player, awesome. Love the art style, love the finished look to it, and of course they're gone.
I know.
Oh, damn it. The good die young.
Well, I've been playing lately is on the PS5 is Bless Online, which was originally released as it was basically released at the beginning of COVID.
Is that BLESS?
Yeah, BLESSED. It was released originally as Blessed Online, like the beginning of COVID. I didn't play it then, but for everything I've read, it was a fairly unfinished state, basically to try to get a COVID cash grab.
So it's now called Bless Unleashed?
Yes, and that's the version I'm playing now. It's all right. It's not the like bee's knees. It's not terrible. It's just kind of somewhere in between.
Actually, I was during our show, we were talking about MMOs that we've played. You know, we're talking about Defiance, and then I started thinking about all the MMOs that I've played that probably no longer exist, and I got really sad really fast.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of which, is it? Hold on, do I still have it by my desk? I'll have to look for it, but I have the thumb drive of all the art assets from a game that we actually interviewed the developer for, or I interviewed the developer for. That was Firefall.
Oh, No, I played Firefall. I remember that. I know,
but I have the art asset thumb drive. That's the Firefall thumb drive.
Whatever happened to that game?
Oh, it burnt to a crisp. There was way too. They set their sights way too high. They couldn't keep up with the content release because they were releasing new areas as you took over. You were fighting back, I guess what it's like a mist or something. And there just wasn't enough variety to the game at a certain point. Got it. Here it is. Boom.
Nice. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to stop the stream. I need to talk to Zelius for a second. But I stream on Sunday nights, Tuesday nights, and of course we do our live show every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 7 o'clock Central Time. Bye.
And 5 o'clock Western Time.
We're not going to try